Hi everyone, I am Elvin A Daglier, a fresh MA graduate of Archaeology and History of Art from Koç University, Istanbul. Welcome to my presentation on floor mosaics in late antique homes for the Notes from Home Conference of Newcastle University. I will first provide a quantitative overview of mosaics from Anatolia and then analyze extant mosaics of a 6th century villa in Edessa, today's Şanlıurfa in Turkey, in the eastern frontier of the Byzantine Empire. The aim of the paper is to explore what an early Byzantine would expect from the home of the upper class. I have analyzed 378 floor mosaics and 27 opus sectile from secular context. They are found in 21 provinces of early Byzantine Empire and dated to the 4th to 6th centuries. And 222 of the mosaics and 13 of the opus sectile are found in Anatolian houses. That is, more than half of these mosaics are in houses. Byzantine houses in Anatolia largely continue the traditional Roman peristyle house architecture and have a lavish decoration with mosaics, frescoes, and marble. Some of them are equipped with beds. Some are furnished with ivory, marble, and bronze furniture. Thus, they are mostly attributed to wealthy owners, the so-called elites. These houses would be frequented by different types of visitors, ranging from clients to close friends. The juxtaposition of public and private life at home reflects on its architecture and decoration. The major trend detected by scholars is the enlargement, multiplication, and lavishness of the reception halls as late antiquity progresses. This change is attributed to emulation of palatial architecture and the increase in public activities at home with the demise of outdoor entertainment. Relatively speaking, late antique houses have larger reception rooms, more pronounced transition spaces, and movement regulators, in order to accommodate more people and to differentiate between more intimate friends and distant clients. And mosaics are found in spaces open more to outsiders, hence in more public spaces, compared to more private parts such as bedrooms and toilets, as you can see in the chart. Mosaics are characterized by versatility, which reflects the desire to attract and secure attention in the first place. Opus tessellatum is characterized by stone cubes, but progress in archaeometric studies reveal the existence of other materials like glass, marble, and earthenware like the ceramics and bricks. And almost all the mosaics from Anatolian homes are polychromatic. Except for the plain mosaics and very small fragments with no discernible motif, the mosaics under study portray geometric shapes, humans, animals, floral and vegetal patterns, inanimate objects, and inscriptions. Traditionally, the number of motif types reflects complexity and quality of the mosaic. Based on the quantitative data, 49% of the Anatolian mosaics in residential space have at least 3 motifs. Moreover, this complexity not only attracts attention, but also stimulates the experiencer to make sense of the design. Another device to attract attention is frame. Except for fragments, almost all of these mosaics have a border frame and some have even more than one. Early Byzantines obviously favored ornamented frames ranging from simple geometric patterns to more complicated arrangements like inhabited scroll, figural, and topographical border, as we will see in our case study ahead. Another point to consider is the ways in which these visual elements are combined, since they not only catch attention, but also move the eyes, body, and mind. First of all, the visual elements can be arranged in a linear or circular fashion. Linear composition directs the eye vertically or horizontally across the mosaic space, as in this black servant and zebra mosaic, while in circular composition, the eye goes around following the motifs. Even bodily movements might be required to get hold of the design, as in this Hunting Amazons mosaic. I will discuss these mosaics in more detail shortly. Most mosaics in Anatolia are paved in linear composition. Furthermore, motifs may be dispersed, as in the Hunting Amazons mosaic. Or the composition can be compartmentalized into several registers in the form of grids, panels, and medallions with the help of internal frames, as in this mosaic. The composition also determines where to focus the eye. Geometric motifs are neutral since there is no optimum viewing point. Meanwhile, other motifs like people, animals, and objects may even be comprehensible if seen upside down or from a different angle. Meanwhile, a single panel or medallion can lead the eye to a certain point, that is single view, as in this mosaic. Numerous panels and medallions can offer several viewpoints, that is multiple view, or dispersed motifs let the eye wander on the area sporadically, neutral view, as we have seen in the Amazon's mosaic. Most of the mosaics offer neutral view, which is a kind of democratization of the seating position due to lack of preferred viewing point in such mosaics. Now let's move from aggregate numbers to actual mosaics as to what these mosaics can tell about their commissioners and experiencers. The 6th century Amazon's villa is situated in Edessa, which is one of the frontier cities of the Byzantine Empire. The villa is in an inverted T-plant building of 12 rooms, whereby only the ground has survived. It stands on east-west axis with the entrance from the east, from this external courtyard into the corridor with 2 apses, which opens up to the main reception room, which is flanked by 2 courts, small inner courts. The reception room further opens to 4 rooms, as you can see at the bottom, and to tablinum at the top, which is this tablinum is also connected to 2 other rooms. All these rooms were paved with mosaics, although some have not survived to this day, either partially or fully. We speak of more than 500 square meters of space paved with mosaics, which meet the expectations of an early Byzantine from mosaic. The entrance is into the corridor, as we have mentioned, flanked with 2 symmetrical apses on each corner, whose mosaics are largely damaged. We still can see the multiple frames decorated with a counter scroll and garlands, including fruits, and on the western apses, birds, shrubs, and rosebuds are discernible in the central ground. These images possibly refer to the riches with which the villa and maybe the city are endowed. The guest, who could be client or friend, is welcomed into the early life of Achilles, the great hero of late antiquity, with whom even the emperors like Justinian associate themselves. It is also possible that the owner of the house wanted to present himself as heroic. Furthermore, he reveals his knowledge of Greek and Hellenistic culture both through this narration and the Greek inscriptions that label the main characters like Achilles or his mother Thetis. It might also serve some pragmatic functions. One needs to move to get a sense of the scenes and face the entrance of the main reception room for the best view. For this reason, it might be a waiting area before being admitted to the main reception room or tablinum. I also would like to draw your attention to the fragments from the frame, which depicts a landscape with houses, sheep, running and grazing horses, and 2 musicians, one of whom you see in this fragment in the middle. His name, Aniolis, is written above him. While the central ground of the mosaic depicts a mythological story, the frame might be referring to the theatrical performances of Achilles' life, sang by the actual lute players in the open or within this very villa. The Achilles mosaic and apsis mosaics covered 150 square meters, and it's very elaborate given the high density of tessera, that is the number of cubes per square meter. It must have left a good impression on the visitor from the very start. The corridor opens to the main reception room, the largest room with an area of 180 square meters on its own. It's the central room which you need to pass to get to all the other architectural units of the house except for the corridor. Unfortunately, it is very badly damaged. The fragments from the frame imply a Nilotic landscape with waterbirds and lotuses. Again, another expression of wealth and abundance. In the central ground, there is a glimpse of an elite who is probably hunting. Possibly, the mosaic as a whole is a depiction of hunting, which is not only a popular pastime of the upper class, but also another token of heroic stance. There are 2 connected rooms on the right and left of the reception hall at the entrance. Possibly they served as meeting or workrooms. On the right, one first enters the room with the Ctesias mosaic. This is a favorite personification of the period that represents foundation, donation, or creation. It's either an expression or an aspiration for abundance, for the house or for the whole city and country itself. One needs to pass from the Ketesis room to this room called Black Servant and Zebra Mosaic. Zebra is an exotic animal, and coupled with African servant, possibly they reflect the trade links of the house owner, or it is another stock image that implies the wealth and cosmopolitan nature of the owner. The rooms on the left are battle damaged. From the first room, only the rust beds scattered around are discernible and the rest are gone. But it won't be wrong to assume mosaics of similar composition to the ones on the right-hand side. There is also access to the small inner courts from both sides of the reception hall, from which remain fountain basins with mosaic fragments. One of them is plain, while the other basin has a geometric Greek design. Water was part of the entertainment at the time and a sign of luxury at home. The end of the hall opens to the tablinum, which has the mosaic of hunting Amazons. 4 Amazon queens hunting in the wild, framed with an inhabited scroll with masks and arrows. The iconography, especially the dressing and the theme of hunting, rather than Amazonomachy, reflects the Sasanian and Persian impact on the art in the east of Byzantium. Let's get a close-up view of one of the Amazons and mask and arrows from the frame to observe the elaborateness of the mosaic work given the high density and complexity of motifs. With the hunting theme, the tablinum is connected with the reception hall, and possibly through the Amazon Queen, it is connected with Achilles' mosaic at the entrance corridor with allusion to the love affair between them. Combined with its position at the back of the house, this room might have been reserved for high-end clients or valuable guests. The tablinum opens to the tiger mosaic room on the left and lion mosaic on the right. Both animal figures are positioned to be seen from the tablinum and contribute to the hunting theme. Tiger mosaic is badly damaged, but it is possible to detect the lion more clearly. These rooms must be the most private parts, as they are in the parts open to outsiders. As can be seen from the numbers and actual mosaics, floor mosaics were an essential part of a late antique house. They enabled the owner to express himself, they interacted with the experiencer, and they reflected the activities of the day by attracting attention, directing view and motion, and stimulating intellectually or emotionally. In other words, they were designed to move. In conclusion, the mosaics were more than a decorative or practical feature of home, but a reflection of the daily requirements and mindset of the period. As lifestyle and priorities changed in the Middle Ages, mosaics did not make a comeback to the house floors of new aristocracy, but fostered themselves on the walls of Byzantine churches, which might be a topic of another talk. Thank you. This paper is based on my thesis, and here is a selected bibliography. Thank you again.